Hey, I'm Jusko from ProudMoney.com, and in this video we are going to look at the best credit cards on the market here in 2021. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already, and if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So we are going to look at the best credit cards that are on the market as we're rolling into 2021 and into the first half of 2021. We try to update this video a second time each year, so if you are watching it later in 2021 and you see a link up here to an updated version, you can go check that out. If you don't see anything up there, that means this is the most up-to-date version. So we're going to look at the sort of best of what is out there. If you are someone who doesn't spend a lot of time thinking about credit cards, maybe you want to upgrade whatever you've been holding, or maybe you don't have any credit cards at all, or maybe you have one but you'd like to get maybe one or two more to complement the rewards you're getting. Whatever the case might be, we're going to kind of look at the best of what's out there. Not everything that's out there, but the best of what's out there, and give a few details about each card. All right, we're going to start with cashback cards because that is the type of reward card that the most people are interested in. It is also the type of card that many people are going to get if they are, maybe upgrading from the first card they ever had, or maybe their card just has lousy rewards and they want something a little bit better. We're going to look at cards if you just want to hold one card that would be good for all your purchases, and we'll also look at some cards or some combination of cards if you're willing to hold 2, 3, 4, or maybe even more cards. So the number one card here in the cashback area, if I were recommending any card to you, not knowing anything about you right now, it would be the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. This is a no annual fee card that is going to give you 3% cash back on your dining purchases, 3% cash back on drugstore purchases. It gives you 5% back on travel purchases if made through Chase's Ultimate Rewards travel portal. You'll also get 1.5% cash back on everything else that you buy with this card. Now, this card used to be a card that only gave you 1.5% cash back on everything. Chase upgraded it last year, and that upgrade is what caused me to upgrade it and make it sort of the number one card that I would recommend. But even beyond those things I just told you, there are also a couple bonuses that make it even better and make it even more solidly in that number one position. That first bonus, as I'm making this video, is you'll earn $200 if you spend $500 with the card in the first 3 months of having it. You're also going to get 5% back on your grocery store purchases for the first year that you have the card. Now, grocery store purchases doesn't include things like Target and Walmart. It is sort of dedicated grocery stores. That's what you're going there for. It doesn't sell a million other things. But between that bonus and the 5% on groceries and the 3% on restaurants and 3% on drugstores, the 5% on the travel through the portal, all kinds of stuff going on with this card. So if you were just going to get one card right now, that is the one I would tell you to get. So the Chase Freedom Unlimited giving you sort of the most bang for your buck if you want just one card to add to your wallet here in 2021. However, if you are someone that is interested in adding multiple cards, sort of building a rewards portfolio, you might say, among your cards, oftentimes what I've recommended in the past is to start with a 2% flat cashback card, meaning you're going to get 2% back on everything you buy, no matter what category it's in or anything else. Now, the downside to these 2% flat cashback cards usually is that they aren't going to come with upfront bonuses. So if you wanted to start there, the cards to look at would be the Citi Double Cash Card, the PayPal Cashback MasterCard, the Fidelity Visa, and rolling out as I'm making this video, the SoFi credit card, also a 2% flat cashback card. Not a lot of difference with these cards. You'll want to do maybe a little more research to see the fine print on some of them, but mostly what they're giving you is that 2% cashback. Each gives it to you a little differently, but if you want 2% flat cash back on everything, you want to start there. Those are the cards to look at. Now let's talk about some complimentary cards on the cashback front. These are cards that I wouldn't necessarily make my number one card out of my wallet, but they give you something extra in certain purchasing categories. I'm going to start with two cards that have sort of a wide range of 3% cashback categories. And if you only wanted to hold maybe a second card on top of the Chase Freedom Unlimited or a 2% flat cashback card, one of these would be my choice as that second card. And so the first one is the Wells Fargo Propel American Express card, a card that gives you 3 points per dollar, which equals 3% cash back when you redeem in a bunch of categories, including restaurants, travel, gas, streaming services, a lot of stuff with this card, a nice bonus with this card as well. So that is one I can very definitely recommend. If you are someone that qualifies to be a member of Navy Federal Credit Union, it's More Rewards American Express card, also a great second card. It gives you 3% back on groceries, on gas, on restaurants, and 1% everywhere else. It, as I'm making this video, also has a nice bonus opportunity as well. So if you were going to go for 2 cards and then you wanted to be done, you could go for that Chase Freedom Unlimited or one of those 2% flat cash back cards and then add one of those 2 cards I just talked about. All right, now if that wasn't enough for you, we'll look at some other cashback cards that would give you enhanced rewards in either some different categories that those cards didn't touch on or some bigger rewards even in some of those categories. So if you want to further complement, maximize that cashback at every turn, here are some other cards to consider. First, US Bank Cash Plus card, no annual fee card, gives you 5% cash back in 2 categories of your choosing from a list. The interesting thing about this card is that those 5% categories oftentimes are categories that you're not going to see in a lot of other credit cards. In particular, utilities, cell phone service, internet and streaming services, bunch of other stuff too. Sometimes you'll see them in other cards, but to get 5% on those, to choose to get that on an ongoing basis, makes this a pretty nice card. You'll also get 2% in some other categories, so you can check out the rest of that card, but those 5% categories are really the place where that card shines. Next up, the Chase Freedom Flex and the Discover It card, 2 cards that give you 5% cash back in rotating categories that change each calendar quarter. That means every 3 months there are going to be new categories where you get 5% cash back, so you have to kind of stay on top of these cards to understand where you're going to get that 5% cash back. The Chase Freedom Flex, the better of the 2 cards, because in addition to those 5% rotating categories, it gives you a lot of what the Chase Freedom Unlimited card gives you that I talked about at the beginning, including the 3% all the time on restaurant purchases, 3% all the time in drugstore purchases, the 5% at the Chase Travel Portal. You'll also get those same bonuses. Now, anything that falls outside of those categories, you would get 1% cash back with this card. The Discover It card, the 5% categories are good, but you're only going to get 1% on everything else with that card. You will get a bonus of everything you earn in the first year doubled, so that's a one-time doubling of your rewards on that Discover It card. But beyond that, it's all about the 5% categories. The only card with an annual fee that I'll mention in this cashback section is the Blue Cash Preferred card from American Express. It has a $95 annual fee, but you'll get 6% back at US supermarkets. You'll get 6% back on streaming services, and it has some other enhanced categories as well. If you are spending over $3,000 roughly per year on your US supermarket purchases, well, then this card will make a lot of sense for you. If you're not spending that much on groceries and you don't want to pay that $95 annual fee, American Express does have sort of a watered down, no annual fee version of this card, the Blue Cash Everyday card, that will still give you 3% on your grocery store purchases, which is pretty nice too. The US Bank Altitude Go, a new card that debuted within the last 12 months. Its big feature, 4% back on restaurant purchases, is a no annual fee card, has some other good stuff going on in terms of cash back, a nice bonus as well. The Bank of America Cash Rewards card, not a card that I really love overall, except it gives you 3% cash back in one category if you're choosing from a list that they supply, and one of the choices on that list is online shopping. So if you have this card, you could get 3% cash back on pretty much everything that you buy online. If you're a member of Sam's Club or a member of Costco, both of them have pretty nice credit cards that are particularly strong in the gas category. The Sam's Club card will give you 5% on those gas purchases. The Costco card will give you 4% on gas purchases. Other nice enhanced categories on those as well, but you have to be a paid member of Sam's Club or Costco in order to get those. The Walmart credit card is a no annual fee card that is going to give you 5% back on your Walmart.com purchases. Now that includes Walmart.com or Walmart mobile app purchases of groceries for delivery or for pickup. So if you are someone that likes to shop for your groceries at Walmart, that is a way for you to get 5% on your groceries via Walmart. So you have to do it on Walmart.com or via that Walmart app. You can't go in store and get that 5%. Doesn't make any sense, I know, but that is how it works. So you have to order it for delivery or pickup in order to get the 5%. If you go in Walmart and do your grocery shopping or any other shopping, you're only going to get 2%. And if you are a frequent Target shopper, it's a no-brainer to get the Target Red Card. It gives you 5% off all of your purchases at Target. It's not a 5% reward, it is a 5% discount on all your purchases. If you don't have the card and you shop at Target, you're paying 5% more than everybody else. In a similar vein, if you're an Amazon Prime member, it would be silly not to get the Amazon Prime Visa that is going to give you 5% back on your Amazon.com purchases as well as Whole Foods purchases. It has some other enhanced reward categories as well, but it's that 5% at Amazon that is the big selling point. You're already paying to be an Amazon Prime member, so why wouldn't you get the card that's going to give you 5% back on those purchases? If you're not an Amazon Prime member, the card's still okay, not bad. You'd still get 3 points per dollar or 3% reward on your Amazon purchases, but not quite as exciting as it would be if you were an Amazon Prime member. All right, let's look at the best travel credit cards, a very murky category as we get into 2021. If you're watching this in June, you already know what has gone on for the last 6 months or so, but I'm making this in early January, and we're very unsure about what the travel market is going to look like, so that makes it very unsure as to whether you should even get a travel credit card here in 2021. But there are a few points I can make, and the first point I would make is if you are someone that's thinking of getting a travel credit card but you don't want to pay an annual fee, you probably shouldn't get a travel credit card because most of the no annual fee travel credit cards aren't going to be very good, or at least they're going to be less rewarding than a good cash back card like the ones I already talked about would be. So if you're someone that travels a lot, you'd be better off paying an annual fee for a card that's going to give you more rewards, even if it does have that annual fee, because the difference is going to be significant between a card that has no annual fee and a card that has an annual fee. You'll get way more rewards, way more perks from a travel card that you have paid a little bit to get. So stay away from those no annual fee travel cards. Second, even if you are willing to pay an annual fee for a travel credit card, you should only do so if you are someone that either travels often or puts a lot of charges on their cards, preferably both. The people that are going to get the most value from a travel credit card are people that are already traveling a lot for work or pleasure and are putting a lot of charges onto their cards, because these cards are going to reward you more for your travel purchases, and they're going to obviously give you more points or miles the more money that you actually charge to the card. So if you're someone that doesn't travel very often, you might accrue some points and miles, but you're not going to get very many. You're not going to redeem them very often. It's not going to make up for what you're paying with the annual fee. Same thing if you don't put very much in terms of charges on those cards. You might earn some points and miles, but it's not going to make up for that annual fee with the points and miles that you get from it because you didn't really buy very much. And since you don't travel very much, you're not getting sort of the enhanced benefits that these cards give. Now, if you're sold on getting a travel credit card, you still sort of have two choices or two paths to go down. You could get a card that makes you sort of commit to an airline or a hotel chain, or you could get a flexible travel credit card that allows you to earn points that you can use in a lot of different ways. And those cards come from Chase, American Express, etc. So if you are someone that already uses a particular airline often, or you stay at a particular hotel chain often, it can make sense to commit to a credit card from that airline or that hotel chain. Delta, American, United, Southwest, Hilton, Marriott, they all have more than one card even for you to choose from that can work for you if you are already staying at those places often. If you're not already staying at those hotels or flying those airlines often, doesn't make sense really to commit to one of their credit cards because yeah, you'll earn some rewards with them, but you're not going to earn anything sort of outside of that. And some of the extra benefits you get from those cards, like free checked bags, etc., you're not going to use them very often. And so it's not going to be something where it makes sense. So if you're not going to commit to one, if it doesn't make sense to commit to one, that's when you want the general market sort of flexible cards that we'll talk about next. Now, if you want one of those flexible travel cards, there are sort of 4 big ones that I would talk about that you should take a look at, but they're all going to have annual fees over $400, 2 of them over $500. So again, you have to be somebody that travels a lot and can take advantage of some of the travel credits and things that come with these cards in order to make it worth it. The big 4 sort of in this category are going to be the American Express Platinum, the Chase Sapphire Reserve, the Citi Prestige card, and the US Bank Altitude Reserve Visa. Now you probably want a recommendation of which of those 4 cards is the best, but it's hard to give one right now because number one, I don't know if any of them are worth it at a time when it is difficult for most people to travel regularly. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but here's what I would say about each of the 4 cards. The Chase Sapphire Reserve, last year I said it was the best travel card, and then they increased the annual fee significantly to $550 without really adding anything else to it, just a price hike, and that means it's not necessarily the best anymore. It still has a significant travel credit to it. It has decent rewards. It does allow you to transfer the points that you earn on the card into the frequent flyer of or hotel programs of some good travel partners, including Southwest, United, Marriott, and others. So that is a nice feature. Or you can use your points and get a 50% boost on the rewards you earn through the Chase Ultimate Rewards portal. So it still has a lot of good stuff going on, and a lot of people still swear by it. But at $550, it's not nearly as good as it was at $450. The American Express Platinum card, also a $550 annual fee. American Express is sort of an everything but the kitchen sink in terms of what they throw at you to justify that $550. If you're someone that travels often, in particular, you buy airfare and you pay for hotels with this card, well, then you can get some really nice rewards as I make this video. Huge bonus opportunity with this card. Some of the other benefits can be sort of harder to decide what they are worth. You get some credit for Saks Fifth Avenue purchases. You've got an Uber credit that you can use each month. You have some other benefits and, sort of status with other travel companies. So a lot going on with this card. You really need to kind of look at the fine print to decide if it is going to be worth it for you. In particular, American Express does have transfer partners where you can send your American Express points into the frequent flyer or hotel programs of other companies. In particular, Delta and Hilton are American Express partners, but there are some other international airlines as well. Some people find a ton of value in American Express's membership rewards points, some people less so. So you really want to do your homework before you decide to spend that much on that card. Citi Prestige card, $495 annual fee, get 5 points per dollar on airfare, 5 points per dollar at restaurants, 3 points per dollar at hotels. You are going to get a $250 travel credit. Probably the biggest selling point with this card, the place where you would make your decision as to whether you want it or not, is the fact that you can get a 4th night free at hotels when you use this card to pay for it. So if you stay at the same hotel for 4 nights, you use this card to pay for it, the 4th night will be free. You can use that benefit up to twice per year. So if you use that and you're staying at a nicer hotel, that might pay for your annual fee right there, and then you could take advantage of all those other benefits and rewards on top of that. So good for some people, doesn't make sense for others. Finally, the US Bank Altitude Reserve Visa, only a $400 annual fee. Not only $400, that's still a lot, but you've got a $325 travel credit that can offset that $400 annual fee. You've got a lot of other perks and benefits with this card. I actually find it a little less interesting than the other cards, even though it has that lower annual fee, but some people really swear by it, so another card to take a look at. And then before we leave travel, if you're someone that spends a lot with your credit cards, but you don't necessarily travel a lot, but you'd like to travel, I also would say look at the American Express Gold card. It has a $250 annual fee, and your rewards mostly are going to come from places that aren't travel. So you're going to get 4 points per dollar on supermarket purchases. You're going to get 4 points per dollar on restaurant purchases. You do get 3 points per dollar on flights. You've got $120 dining credit with this card. It has a nice big bonus opportunity for new card holders. So potentially this is a card, if you used it a ton, you could get a lot of American Express points that you could use toward travel without necessarily having to be someone that spends a lot on travel to begin with. All right, rewards cards, cash back, travel are of the most interest to the most people, so we spent the most time on them, but I want to hit some other categories as well. Best student credit card, the Bank of America Cash Rewards card for students. It is the student version of the general market Bank of America Cash Rewards card, a no annual fee card that has some decent rewards. If you're a college student looking for your first card, this is the place that I would recommend you start. In terms of small business cards, I'll give you 5 names, not going to go into too much detail on these, but the first is the Chase Inc. Business Business Preferred card, a nice rewards card. The Chase Inc. Business Cash card, a nice card as well. American Express has a couple of flat cashback, flat reward cards you might choose. There's the Blue Business Cash card that gives you 2% on everything you buy with the card, or the Blue Business Plus card that gives you 2 membership rewards points per dollar on everything you buy. The U.S. Bank Business Cash Rewards card, another small business card we like. All right, finally, I'm going to talk about some cards for people that don't have a credit history or maybe have a credit history that doesn't qualify them for the very best rewards cards like the ones we've talked about in this video. So first off, if you are someone whose credit score is okay, but not great, maybe you're in the 650 to 700 credit score range, I would tell you probably the place to start is look at something like the Capital One Quicksilver or other Capital One cards. Capital One known to work with people who maybe have a little bit lower credit scores. Same thing for Discover, the Discover It card, the Discover It Miles card. Oftentimes they will work with people whose credit scores are a little bit lower as well. Now, not bad credit, but if you're in sort of that middle range. Now, if you have bad credit, you have fewer choices. Perhaps the Capital One Platinum card is one that you could qualify for. You probably would get a rather small credit line. It has a high interest rate, it has no rewards, but it may be unsecured credit, meaning you don't have to put a deposit down in order to get it. If you can get your hands on a unsecured card from Merrick Bank, that is another place that potentially you could look at. They have their double your line card, where if you make all your payments on time for 7 months, they'll double your credit line. That card is an invitation card. You can't always get your hands on it easily. You can look around the internet, you can go on the Merrick Bank site and see if you can fill out a form to try and get qualified for it, but it is not always easy. Now, if you have bad credit, a secured credit card oftentimes is going to be better than an unsecured card, because the unsecured card might give you very low credit line, high interest rate, maybe an annual fee, where a good secured card could actually be a better deal, even though you have to put a security deposit down to get it. Best secured cards, in my opinion, the Discover secured card oftentimes will graduate you to an unsecured card in a fairly quick time frame if you make all your payments on time. Bank of America has good secured cards. The Chime Credit Builder is a new credit account that is sort of difficult to describe in few words, but it has been popular over the last year or so since it was introduced. We have another video on that you could check out to try and understand how that all works. Finally, if you're someone that doesn't have a credit history at all, what I would say is you should probably start maybe looking at Capital One or Discover for their cards to see if you could be approved for any of those, especially if you have some income. I could see them approving you even without a credit history. The Pedal card is one that I sometimes recommend for people because it specializes in giving cards to people that don't have a credit history. If you can't get approved anywhere else, that's when I would consider one of those secured cards in order to build up some credit. But I'd say give those other issuers a try first before I went the secured card route. So that's it. It's finally over. Questions, comments, put them in that comment section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching. And as always, please go to proudmoney.com, where we do credit card reviews, we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thank you for watching. Bye.